Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have 3 great stories. So subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. New landlord wants to control energy use. Installs device on water heater, but is met with resistance from tenants. The second story. Boss stole Super Bowl tickets meant for me. So client orchestrated a plan to catch him. Boss gave away tickets, lied about it, and client called him out. Client ended business relationship. The third story. Daycare worker noticed her juice kept disappearing, so she filled her bottle with coffee. Her coworker drank it and complained, but the worker taught her a lesson. Today's first story is, new landlord tries to control our energy use. So this goes back to my university days. My friends and I got a townhouse together in a complex that was pretty much 100% students. The landlord also owned 3 to 4 other townhouses in the complex. He seemed like a great guy, especially compared to some of the sketchy people we met during our search. The first year went great, but landlord had a heart attack. Thankfully he survived, but decides to sell his townhouse to lower stress and retire. New landlord comes over to say hi and immediately is like, we need to change things around. So the rental lease we had met the landlord was to pay all water and electricity. This was common for most student housing, because it would be a pain for students every year to sign contracts with water and electrical providers. She tells us she's going to be a device, I think it's called a governor, on our water heater, so that it will not fill up during peak hours, daytime, telling us we have to do laundry at night. She didn't mention we might not get hot showers during the day. She tells us it's not that big a deal and all the other places have them. She tries to trick and bully and coerce us into just letting her do it. One of my friends, M, tells her that there's nothing about that in the lease, so she can't legally do that. She leaves but keeps pushing us to install the device. Later in the year, she comes over to berate us for our energy use. She presents us with the energy bills for a few townhouses she owns and points out how we're the highest. We point out that we're a 5-bedroom townhouse, and the ones she's comparing us to are 3 or 4 bedrooms. Meanwhile, she's ignoring any repairs to our unit and questioning when something went wrong, implying it predates her buying the unit from original landlord. She wasn't liable to fix it. Her calls to get the water heater device and get us to use less electricity finally push M to exact some petty revenge. M decides he wants to see how much electricity we can use. The meter outside our unit shows a dial going around clockwise that monitors our electricity usage. Normally I might to 1 rotation in a minute. M wants to see how fast he can get it going. So he goes around to all the housemates and asks them to turn on all their computers, TVs, stereos, anything that has a plug. He hits the override on the water heater to get it to fill, turns on the laundry, dryer. He was actually doing laundry, so not being a total D. Then the coup de grace turns on the oven and all 4 burners. We go outside and he had got it up to 1 revolution a second. This does not last long as he blows a fuse in the oven, and M decides he's gotten his petty revenge, so we got back to normal usage. I guess the electricity bill for that month was much higher than normal, and so on the next call from landlord she seemed resigned to us not giving in to her demands. I believe M told her that we can curtail our electricity usage if things get fixed around here. Addendum. So the one most needed repair in our townhouse was on the 2nd floor of the 3-floor unit. There was a little hallway between the living room and the kitchen. Being a high-traffic area, it took a lot of wear and tear. At some point we noticed the floor, which was carpeted, was soft. We suspected that the floor underneath was falling apart, but landlord ignored it. The problem in the floor only grew until we had masking tape around a circle in the floor indicating the danger zone. I did not stay in the place the next year because she was making people sign a new lease, but they did get landlord to fix the floor. She sent her son over and he ended up falling through the hole in the floor to the ceiling below. My friend was on the 1st floor and saw a leg appear above him. Says it was the funniest thing ever. The next story is, my boss stole my Super Bowl tickets, so I made him lose a major client. With the NFL playoffs back on, I thought you all might enjoy this football-related revenge story. I'm a huge 49ers fan, the rabid all-day tailgate in the parking lot type. A few years ago, we made it back to the Super Bowl. I was working at a consulting firm with a handful of accounts I would interact with directly. One client in particular knew how big of a Niners fan I was. I was the day-to-day lead on his account. He really liked working with me and we became friends, often grabbing drinks or dinner after our meetings. He had access to a pair of extra company seats to the game, and as a thank you, wanted to give them to me as a gift. He passed the tickets over to the partner on that account, who I will refer to as D-Head Partner, to be given to me as a surprise. The game came and went. We lost. It sucked. The next time we met, we went to drinks afterwards and he mentioned, hey, by the way, why didn't you go to the game? I heard someone else was in your seats. I asked what game. He said the Super Bowl. Confused, I answered, I didn't have seats to the Super Bowl. He told me that he gave D-Head partner a pair of his company tickets for me as a gift so I could attend. I had zero idea what he was talking about. He looked shocked, told me to quietly ask around about it and get back to him. When I was back in the office next week, I found out through one of the secretaries that D-Head partner had given a pair of Super Bowl tickets to another one of his clients as a gift from our company. I might have let this sort of thing go to keep the peace under different circumstances, but these were seats on the 30-yard line to see the effing 49ers play in the Super Bowl. I was peeved. I considered confronting D-Head partner myself, but realized it was the client who had noticed I wasn't there in the first place, so if I let him handle it, there would be no blowback on me. So I texted him, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you so much for thinking of me with those seats. It appears that they were given to another one of our firm's clients." He texted back right away in all caps, "Are you SHing me? And then, pretend I never told you. Let me handle." He followed up with me about formulating a plan. A few days later, we were asked to come down for a meeting in their office. The client requested the partner be present, not entirely unusual, so D-Head partner and I hopped a flight the next week and headed over to their office. Little did D-Head partner know my client had orchestrated a wonderfully awkward little show to catch him red-handed. When we entered the conference room, it was all the usual suspects along with a woman in her 30s we didn't recognize. My client immediately introduces, "D-Head partner, this is Stephanie such and such, VP from other department. She wanted to sit in on this meeting. Hey OP, you guys must already know her from the Super Bowl." She then responds as she goes to shake my hand. "Oh, I don't think so. Did we meet there? I'm sorry if I forgot." Client responds, "Geez, Steph, how much did you have to drink? They were sitting right next to you." Client looks at me and I say, "Sorry, client, I wasn't there. Are you thinking of someone else?" At this point, D-Head partner is looking visibly uncomfortable, probably trying to come up with an excuse. He starts in with an when Stephanie says over him, "No, so-and-so from other company were in the other seats. By the way, I was wondering why we gave company seats to those guys. Is there a project we're working with them on that I don't know about?" Obviously not. They were in completely different industries. It would be like Coca-Cola partnering with John Deere. D-Head partner lets out an again, and the client immediately speaks over him asking D-Head partner, "I gave you those tickets for OP." At this point, D-Head partner is turning bright red. He responds, Well, he wasn't able to make it, so he must have given the seats away to someone else," and turns to me looking for me to cover for him. Client smirks at him. I respond, what are you talking about? Client, you gave me tickets to the Super Bowl?" Client suddenly raises his voice. "D-Head partner, those tickets were a personal thank you gift from me to OP. Did you give them away to someone else? Was it another client?" D-Head partner butts in with, maybe something got mixed up in the office." Client went quiet for what probably seemed like an eternity to D-Head partner. He then looked down, grabbed his portfolio and iPad, put them into his briefcase and said, "I think this meeting is over. OP, it seems as if I owe you a thank you gift. Let's go to lunch. Stephanie, you're welcome to join. D-Head partner, I need to evaluate our relationship. Please go back home and expect to hear from us next week." D-Head partner suggests he would like to join, presumably to do damage control, and Stephanie sternly tells him, "I don't think that's a good idea," and asks the front desk to see D-Head partner out. As soon as he's in the elevator, we all break out laughing hysterically. Stephanie wasn't really a VP, just an employee at the company who client had drafted into helping with his pre-planned meeting skid, but she did end up coming to lunch with us and was a fellow Niners fan and total blast to hang out with. On our way to the restaurant, I got a desperate text from D-Head partner saying I need to cover for the firm and that we could discuss things when I got back. I replied, "Yes, we need to talk, but I'll see what I can do." Client told me to wait a couple hours and then respond to him. 1. To expect invoices for the resale value of the Super Bowl tickets. Resale is way above face value. It was over $10K, as well as our lunch. He picked a pricey spot and made a big show of overspending, and he expected them to be paid immediately. 2. Expected I be given a direct apology. 3. Expected a written apology to his company for what he considered theft. And 4. He will only interact with me or another one of our firm's partners. Never D-Head partner. This whole thing caused a stir with the other partners, and I actually came off looking great because it appeared that I had made a good faith effort to save the client for the firm despite being the victim in this situation. The client would transfer to another partner, which meant D-Head partner lost his profit share on any work with them. Oh, and the other partners in the firm made D-Head partner pay the invoices back out of his salary. In retrospect, I really have no idea what the hell the guy was thinking. Did he seriously believe the client would just not notice me not thanking him for Super Bowl tickets? Anyway, the well was kinda poisoned for me there long term, because D-Head partner wasn't going anywhere. I left the firm a few months later for a much better position. Client ultimately terminated their relationship with that firm a year later. He actually now works with a good friend of mine at a competing firm. I'm still peeved I missed out on the Super Bowl even though we lost. Hoping we make it back this year so I can finally go to one in person. Go Niners! The last story is, Juice Thief got what she deserved. This happened today and boy, just now I managed to stop laughing. So before anything, I must say that I work at a daycare, and even though no kids go there, it's considered essential. So a team of workers have been selected, me included, to work there during the you-know-what to keep it clean, watch the place, etc. Given that I have to wake up early to go to work, I tend to bring my own bottle of juice and tea from home to drink during my work hours because hey, it can be stressful and I like to calm myself with a nice cold beverage, so I leave it on my work's fridge to sip on it while it's cold enough for me. As of late, however, I've been noticing that my drink seems to be vanishing. Sometimes it seems like a minimal amount, sometimes it's a bit more. I don't want to jump to conclusions, nor I want to believe someone's been drinking from my bottle, especially with you-know-what going on, so I let it slide. Of course, being paranoid, I wouldn't risk drinking from the bottle anymore, just in case. Yesterday, however, I went to grab my drink and my bottle was empty, just straight up empty. And I know for a fact that I brought it in full. Well, you gone done goofed now, son. One thing about me, I love coffee. As in drink it pure, no sugar, black, piping hot coffee, and just writing this sentence made me go fetch me a cup. And here where I live, it's not very common for someone to drink coffee like that. Revenge time. Before leaving for work, I filled my entire bottle with the black godly nectar and went to work. Set my bottle in its usual place in the fridge and went to my workstation. A few minutes later, I just hear aloud, "What the F is wrong with you?" And one of my coworkers storms to where I am, bottle in hand, and tosses it on the floor. "This effing coffee is horrible, what the hell's wrong with you?" And I just stay there in silence with a big A smile on my face as I said, "Next time bring your own drinks and don't take mine, you gross POS." And she just storms out. Don't take stuff from others, especially now, good lord folks. Edit. The reason why I have not reported her A yet is because, well, I like to think I taught her a lesson. I'm a very non-confrontational kind of person and forgiving as hell, and I'll wait till my next day of work to see if she changed her ways. I'll post another update then. Edit 2. So, she apologized. Calm down your horses, it isn't that simple. She came to me and said she was sorry for taking my drinks, claiming that I thought they were there for everyone, you know, since there are jugs of coffee and tea for all of us to drink, so I just figured it was open for all of us. To which I called BS. Once she tasted my homemade coffee, she went straight to me completely ballistic. Her response, "Look, I'm trying to be nice here. Can't you just stop being such a stuck-up jerk and accept my apology?" To which I said, "Consider yourself lucky I'm not reporting you to the principal. Seriously, we're in a pandemic and you just drink straight from my bottle? What if I'm infected? Hell, not even with the disease, but something else. I could have hepatitis for all you know." And she just stood there, I think now realizing she was playing extreme Russian roulette, and just left without speaking anything else to me. Yeah, I don't think she'll be pulling that stunt anytime soon. I hope you enjoyed these stories. Subscribe, hit the like button, and have a good day.